So YouTube has updated their community guideline striking system. So me making whatever content I want generally, sometimes I speak about things I probably shouldn't, you know, that I'm stupid. But I still talk about whatever I want, even if my opinion is stupid. And I get told that a lot. But but that will not deter me from speaking my mind. Sometimes it probably should. But let's check out the video. They have a video explaining the new rules. Fortunately, I've never had a community guideline strike. I mean, fixing the community guidelines is one thing, the strike system there, but really I think you have a bigger problem with the copy striking system, the copyright striking system. So maybe get on that, YouTube, as well. I know EU's Article 11 and 13 may cause additional problems, but I think if you could sort that out yourself internally somehow, I think that would probably go away. So it's not an easy fix. That one's probably more difficult than it's definitely more difficult than the community guidelines system, but I think it's something which you can fix, and I think eventually, with the grace of the being above, you will. So let's check out these new rules. Let's go. There we go. Right. Okay.
We're updating the way we give community guideline strikes.
Good idea.
To a new, simpler system. We've worked alongside creators to understand what's working and what's not.
There's a lot
you
that isn't
told us
working.
that clear policies,
and things are,
consistent enforcement, and transparency about what's happening to your channel are the most important things we can improve to make the strike system work better for you. So we're doing just that.
Okay.
We know that most of the time creators don't break the rules intentionally and just want to get back to making great content. So we're giving everybody a warning the very first time they post content that crosses the line, with no penalty to their channel.
That's a good idea.
This is to make sure everyone takes the time to learn about our community guidelines and understands what went wrong before they face more severe consequences. We also want to make sure you have all the important information about a strike at a glance. Our new messaging will make it clear why the strike occurred, what it means for your channel, and the next steps that are available, including appealing the decision in case you think it was a mistake. Finally, we're making the penalty for breaking the rules consistent wherever it happens,
and stuff.
like videos, thumbnails, live streams, or links to external websites. All community guideline strikes are treated consistently and will result in a temporary freeze on your ability to create new content on YouTube, including videos and live streams. To learn more about the new system, click here or the link in the description to visit our help center. These changes will make the strike system more transparent for all our creators.
Alrighty. I mean, the change is welcomed. I appreciate that they're giving basically a warning strike almost before you get an actual strike, so that your channel isn't affected in any way, because sometimes there might just be a person who's decided to look at your content and just be like, no, I don't like that person, and then loads of people flag the video, and then eventually YouTube's like, okay, we just take it down anyway. And that can happen to anyone, and then they have a strike on their channel that they might not rightfully deserve, but at least this way they have one chance of being like, someone else did something, I didn't do anything wrong, and we can move on from it and nothing happens. I think it's a good idea. I think they didn't really say anything else about that in general, so I don't know if you get one of those, maybe, because the way it works is every 3 months you basically refresh your community guidelines strikes. So every 3 months it refreshes again, and then you start again from scratch. But I don't think they said whether this was every 3 months or every year, or how often that gets refreshed, the warning strike. Now, although 98% of you never break our community guidelines, they are vital to making YouTube a strong community and balancing freedom of expression with the freedom to belong. That's a weird sentence, but okay, sounds like speak your truth a bit. I don't like that type of stuff. That's why from our earliest days we relied on the 3 strike system and email notices to give everyone a chance to review and understand what went wrong before they face more severe consequences. And it works. 94% of those who do receive a first strike never get a second one. Wow. Those are pretty efficient odds, actually. I mean, we say all these things, but that's pretty efficient. I mean, why would you... Wow. What's the percentage of people who get a second one? That would be an interesting number, whether it's more or less than the 94. I would think it would be less, because if someone's committed a second strike, they're probably pretty lax on what they do and what they say. So starting from the 25th of February, all channels will receive a one-time warning. Okay, so it's a one-time thing. It's not, it doesn't get renewed at all. I mean, I think if you did that once a year, I think that would probably be a good idea. That way people would be able to move on from it and get that refresh back in case something happens to them. Because if someone's in the media for something, in the mainstream media for something that happens, and then their YouTube channel sort of gets destroyed because of it, they could easily just get struck down. Like, I can think if Logan Paul, you know, if he wasn't as big of a creator as he was, and he had the stuff that he did the stuff in Japan, people could have just flagged that video at even higher rates compared to the amount of people who are subscribed to him, and his channel could have really been destroyed if he maybe had a couple 100,000 subscribers or even a couple million. So obviously, I mean, I'm not saying what he did was right, but you know, one mistake shouldn't define you necessarily, unless it's something which you've actually committed a murder, in which case, I mean, that mistake does define you. You're pretty fucked there. But if you've done nothing wrong really, you know, it's the weird thing, isn't it? Bringing Logan Paul, I'm just wrapping a noose around my head like the guy from Empire. Oh shit! This is why I'll probably get one of these strikes one day. They're saying they're also making the community guideline strikes pretty equal over the board. So things to do with thumbnails, stories, I guess live streams as well. If you break the rules on any of those things, then you'll get a strike. Whereas before it was very heavy on the content itself. Now they're saying if there's stuff dubious about anything overall, then they'll strike you down basically. So before, a first strike would trigger a 90-day freeze on live streaming. Then a second strike would result in a 2-week freeze on new uploads. We heard from many of you that it was confusing and the penalty didn't match the source of the strike. Now, based on your feedback, all community guideline strikes will have the same penalty. As mentioned, everyone who uploads content on YouTube will now receive a warning the first time their content crosses the line. Although their content will be removed, there will be no penalty on the channel. There will only be one warning, and unlike the strikes, the warning will not reset after 90 days. That's the big one. That's something which is important to note, but I think it's a good thing that they've put this warning in place. I think it's a good idea. Maybe they should do it every year, like I said before, and every year it gets refreshed, but I mean, it's a good place to start. So apparently the new rules are the first strike will result in a 1-week freeze on the ability to upload any new YouTube content. Including live streaming and other channel activities. The strike will expire after 90 days. See, after one strike you get a freeze for a week. That's heavy. That's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. Maybe a day. Maybe you're not allowed to upload for a day, because in the world we live in on YouTube, people are uploading every day. I'm uploading every day for the past 250 days. Like, if this happened to me, I wouldn't be able to upload for a week, and it would just completely destroy, you know, whatever growth or momentum you've had going. And especially in the way YouTube is now, it's about posting as much as you can, as quickly as you can. So I think that's a pretty heavy punishment for a first strike. But the second strike, in any 90-day period, will result in another 2-week freeze on the ability to upload any new content. Right, okay. See, I probably agree with that. That one is probably fine. I don't think they've changed that one too much from what it was originally. But the third strike is the same. It will result in a channel termination if it's done as your third strike in 90 days. I mean, I get it. I don't think that the consequences of the first strike should be that high. I think that they should probably be lower. But I guess with them giving you that one-time warning as well, it maybe evens itself out. But I think from a long-term point of view, it's probably better to say that it's not a once-in-a-lifetime for the channel warning. It should be probably once a year. Just because the amount of content people make, it's unlikely that they will not make a mistake. Only 2% of channels make a mistake. 2% is a lot of creators. That's a lot of people. So, you know, it's good. It's progress in the right direction. I think it's a good change, but I think that first strike, the penalty maybe is a bit too severe. If you're wrongfully struck, then do you get back the warning or do you lose the warning? How does that work? I don't think they explained it here, but they probably will eventually. Progress is progress if it's just progress. And anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel down there. If you didn't, then YouTube will come after you. They will strike your life down. And in the internet world we live in right now, that's not what most people would want. And you don't want that. You really don't. So just subscribe anyway to avoid that. I've been NarendraTheComic. You've been great, and I'll see you next time. Skadoosh.